Link's Awakening reviewed in under 5 minutes. Taking it back to 1993, the original Link's Awakening was Zelda's first iteration on a handheld console, the original Game Boy. Appraised, beloved, cheered, and forgotten. Now, 26 years later, we get a complete overhaul of the game, a reimagination at its best. Link's Awakening takes you through Koholint Island, for you to collect 8 different instruments, with which you will be able to awaken the Windfish. Not your regular Zelda story for sure. Actually, even though the game is still a Zelda game, Zelda doesn't actually appear in this game at all. It's a complete deviation from the Zelda formula in terms of story, but the actual gameplay is as Zelda-like as it gets. By being a spiritual successor to A Link to the Past, and technically being a revamped Game Boy game, Link's Awakening takes you on a 2D old-school tour through deserts, swamps, mountain ranges, wastelands, castles, and a variety of many more diverse locations. Now, old school also has its downside to it as well. Backtracking is something that you will have to do in this game frequently. The game does a good job of minimizing the drag with great artistic music that always suits the atmosphere and great visuals that makes you want to explode in cuteness. But if you hate backtracking, it will still be noticeable. And with every old school game from the 90s, there also comes aimless wandering. Since there isn't any mission or objective list and the game often expects you to do things in a specifically given order, you often end up like this. It's quite a chore at times, but the game is technically a retro game, and back then developers loved to make games longer than what they actually were by not telling you key details or putting you up against unfair circumstances, which is not necessarily bad, but nowadays I just think most people don't actually enjoy this any longer. Now, thankfully we have something called YouTube, and on here you will find a solution to any seemingly unsolvable problem the game throws at you, but I personally would suggest only using the internet as a last resort. But putting those issues aside, the gameplay is smooth, like butter smooth. Jumping around, attacking Goombas, and using your hookshot feel like second nature. And the animations that go along with it are gorgeous. This game has turned this into this. What a beautiful art style. It feels like you got lost in the Zelda toy section in Toys R Us, and this art style seeps through every aspect of the game. But sadly, beauty has its price. Other than in dungeons and inside homes, the game frequently drops frames. At first, it was quite a nuisance, but I have to say that it either got better with time or I just got used to it. And for perspective, I'm not normally one that really cares about frame rates, so if it was apparent to me, it will probably affect you as well. But it never got that bad that it felt game-breaking to me. But to be quite frankly, if a Zelda game like this can run on the Switch without barely any frame drops, then so should Link's Awakening. To summarize, the bad. The progression system sadly suffers from its old school backtracking and from aimless wandering. And wandering is not mitigated by the amount of frequent frame drops either. The good. The story in this game is funny, original, and quirky. The gameplay is very fluid and very diverse. From the regular top-down Zelda gameplay to 2D sections that were incredibly well crafted, to various side activities like fishing, rafting, and forging your own dungeons. The game's artistic choice was an incredible stroke of brilliance. Link's Awakening looks incredibly artistically pleasing, and on top of that, the puzzle gameplay in the dungeons feels hard but rewarding at the same time, in almost perfect balance. Link's Awakening is surely a good game, but it is a Game Boy game after all. It has been upped when talking about the art style and some general longevity improvements, but they were not entirely successful, and in my opinion, $60 is too much for this game. I would personally price it at $40, which is the price I got it for. I just don't think Link's Awakening should cost as much as Breath of the Wild. But nonetheless, I do think that most people will still enjoy this game if they get it. But be prepared to be playing a 90s game and not a 2019 game. Oh, and feel free to check out the link in the description if you decide to buy the game. This link will bring you directly to the Amazon website where you can decide on whether or not to buy it. I would rate Link's Awakening a 7.5 out of 10. A buggy dream, but a funny one at that.